Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. The long anticipated Guilty Gear anime is, well, finally almost here, and we have our first official trailer dropping for it. Guilty Gear Strive Dual Rulers, and yes, specifically Guilty Gear Strive branded, not just regular Guilty Gear, will begin airing in April, and will feature many, not all, but many characters from the Guilty Gear universe. Basically, most of the characters you would expect, aka the popular ones. Characters like Zato and Angie, not so much on the poster here or in the trailer. You'd hope for someone like Potemkin, but I don't know. This is definitely not a Potemkin kind of story, as we're very much back on the Gear storyline. So what exactly is going on here besides, hey, we have the new character Unika, who you may recall is going to be one of our new DLC characters in Season 4 of Guilty Gear Strive. Supposedly launching sometime in spring. I mean, Unika would launch with the show. Hopefully no delays. If you're unaware, Venom actually just recently got delayed. Venom was originally planned probably for a February launch, but now is getting moved on to later in March. Hopefully, ideally, that's just a Venom problem, not just an entire pipeline problem. Because if Unika doesn't launch in time for the show, well, you lose a lot of that co-marketing branding synergy, don't you? That and Unika is like the antagonist of the show, like the main villain, the reason the show has a reason to exist, basically. So you kind of need the character there if you want to do the whole co-promotion deal. Who is Unika? What are they all about? Who knows, actually. So all we can infer from the trailer is Unika hates gears. Gears, sort of the focus, well, a focus anyways, of the Guilty Gear franchise. Living weapons that threw the world into chaos for many years and eventually caused a set of the wars called the Crusades. Devastated most of the world, and Unika wants the Crusades to come back, to get rid of what's left of the Gears. Now here's the thing. By the end of Guilty Gear Strive's second story mode, another story, the Gear problem is mostly solved. Gears can now be citizens. Kai abdicates the throne, and then thus Dizzy becomes Queen Dizzy. That's the character we have in Guilty Gear Strive DLC, right? Queen Dizzy, right? And she's now the ruler of Illyria. So the problem with Gears, mostly solved. Guilty Gear Strive Dual Rulers, though, is in a weird spot where it's definitely set after the main story mode of Guilty Gear Strive. So the White House, dealing with Eno, all that. But it is set before Dizzy becomes the Queen. So that said, let's do the thing that we do on the channel here, and let's go through the trailer and see what's up. So we open up with a shot here of Unika kind of telling off Sin. This is going to be the Sin show, by the way. He's got top billing, he's in front of all the posters. Sin versus Unika is the theme of the show, with Soul kind of being Sin's wise mentor. Unika, for whatever reason, does not care for Gears, and she wants all Gears to die, and well, Sin, when you know it, happens to be a Gear. Sin is the son of Kai Kisk and Dizzy, born out of wedlock, just saying. And there's definitely this theme, at least early in the trailer, saying, hey, we got to get past the Crusades. It was a bad time, it was more destructive than any world war, but it looks like Unika's brand is, hey, wasn't destructive enough because there's still Gears alive in the world. And yes, Bridget will be in the show. No real reason for Bridget to be here, but Bridget's money. And then we have this real interesting shot of Unika here. We see her like wanted poster, whatever you want to call it, right? And this is a direct callback to some of the older games. In the Guilty Gear X2 games, when you played someone in arcade mode, you'd get a report on them from the Post-War Administration Bureau. Post-War Administration Bureau being the people who ran everything after the Crusades. And they'd basically just give a little blurb, you know, hey, what's the story? What's their motivation? All that kind of stuff. And at the end of all these, they would actually give a threat rating, a risk rating. What is this person's risk to the government and world stability? The person in the game who was rated the highest risk to world stability was always Dizzy at S++. And now we have Unika, and Unika is rated as S+++. That's one more plus than Dizzy. So for the power scalers out there, that means she's got to be pretty damn strong at a bare minimum if she's considered the greatest threat to world peace ever. Hey, but don't worry, in Unika's own words, they're there to save the world. So I guess there's no threat, right? So I guess the setting is specifically Kai is finally marrying Dizzy here. And spoiler, the wedding's gonna get interrupted. The whole relationship stable, I guess. A man marrying a gear. What nonsense is this? This can't be allowed to pass, can it? We see Sol here. Sol has no headband. This is after the events of the original Strive story mode. As per the website, he lost his powers in a prior incident, aka the Guilty Gear Strive story mode, and now enjoys a quiet life in the countryside away from society. Although naturally, given that the show exists, the quiet life isn't going to last for too long for Sol. Going from there, we have this guy coming up, and he's just very clearly bad guy coded, kind of sinister mustache and all. This is Nerval Hammer, a United States Senator, wearing the traditional vampire United States Senator clothing, I guess, known for his strong anti-gear stance, viewing gears as nothing more than man-made weapons of destruction. Sounds like a bad guy, also probably the guy who's bankrolling Unika. I'm assuming the trailer's showing us stuff from the first few episodes, and Unika is going to be a wedding crasher. By the way, hey, Johnny is invited to the wedding, yay! And there's just going to be a lot of fighting because, well, that's how anime works. You can see Unika fighting against Kai. Unika has a weapon that's very evocative of what Sol uses. Maybe like Sol's weapon, it uses some of the sacred treasures. I don't know, we'll find out. But yeah, regardless, Unika is very much against the wedding. For Unika, the two species ain't meant to coexist. And if it leads to a bunch of kung fu fights against Kai and Dizzy during the wedding, so be it. And Unika seemingly able to tangle with Kai and Dizzy, meaning Unika is very strong, probably beats them, and then that's what sets Sin with Sol off on the hero's journey. And hey, more Bridget because Bridget's free money. People will literally watch the show because of Bridget. But of course, there's going to be a lot of characters like, hey, Jacko is very much going to be part of the show. And once again, Jacko, this is all set post-Strive story mode. So Jacko is very much her own person now. Sol has his powers back again. I thought part of the story was that he lost his power. Maybe I just need to rewatch it. I don't remember. But regardless, he can make the fire. Sol's definitely going to be punching people. And that's kind of the main crux of the trailer. Going to be a big fight over Gear's rights, effectively. And then we also have the little anime music video stinger part where we get a lot of action shots. We got this guy who definitely evokes Eddie. Kind of looks like Zato standing heavy, but no, that's definitely not Eddie. Johnny's going to be having some sort of dramatic fight. Unika and Sin are going to be going at each other probably for the duration of the show. Unravel the great mystery of what's happening. Why is this happening? It's definitely this guy. He's absolutely the main guy. This villain. It's 100% him. But we won't find that out till like episode 6 or 7 probably. But hey, we got the Valentines. Yes, Elfelt and Ramlethal will also be part of the show. Gathering intel, so it looks like they're going to be like a crime-solving duo. And hey, speaking of duos, we have Biken in the show as well. But that's all we know for now. So basically, gear racism is bad, don't do it. And this storyline is very much set between after the Guilty Gear Strive story mode, but before the Guilty Gear Strive another story mode. Perhaps this is how we got there. This is how Queen Dizzy became Queen Dizzy, and this is just the story being told. So, Guilty Gear, very famous for its insane storyline, and I hope they just ramp it up. Like, don't be afraid to embrace what you are. On top of telling whatever story you need to tell, you can also just add all new elements to the world and the lore, and just go nuts with it. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. But for now, that's just some of my thoughts on the trailer. That's the trailer breakdown. I'm interested. I'll definitely be watching. If you follow the channel, you know I'm a very big fan and big proponent of fighting game lore, as lore is the most important part of fighting games. And when it comes to fighting game lore, the Guilty Gear franchise has some real bangers. Interested to see where this is going, and plus makes me more excited for Unika as an actual character in Strive as well. If Unika has top billing in the show as the main antagonist, you'd kind of hope that they're a cool character gameplay-wise, right? Like, hey, boom, right here, this shot, right? Is this one of Unika's special or super moves? The red ribbons of whatever, Agamotto? I don't know. We'll have to find out when time comes. I just like seeing that the franchise is expanding in a very big way like this. I know Daisuke Ishitari's probably got to be over the moon that he finally got his story on a, large scale screen as far as like the anime goes. And once again, launches in April. I'll be watching. Maybe you will be too, hopefully. That said though, my friends, that is the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Guilty Gear.
Just a love